I think the biggest difference is this guitar. This guitar, the flat pole pieces of the early Blackguard Tellies are warmer sounding than once they started raising the pole pieces, period all across there. And as the Telecasters went on, once they got into 56, 7, 8, 9, they got a lot brighter. And I don't know why, but I've always preferred that flat pole piece sound. And this guitar is an anomaly. I bought this guitar at a music store in 1978 from an old friend, and I didn't pay very much for it. Back then, I think I paid $450 for it in 1978, which was maybe a couple $100 less than it was worth.
Yeah. What year is that one?
It's a 53.
Oh, wow.
And there's something about this neck. It's the most perfect contoured neck of any Fender I've ever held. And I've got another 20 Blackguards probably, but none of them have the same neck shape as this one, and it just fit my hand. It's so unique that it's the first Telly I bought, and it's still my favorite.
Is the neck contour from all those years of you playing it? Like, did that mold it or something? Or was it that way when you got it?
It was this way when I got it. All the finish was gone. It had been played, and I don't think anybody cut it down because I don't see any sand marks of any kind on it. And every neck was a little bit different. I don't think they had a particular shape that was on all guitars, because I'll pick up a lot of old early 50s Fenders and the necks are way too big for me.
Yeah.
Very seldom did they make smaller necks. And then they changed as, I can grab an old guitar and kind of almost tell you about what vintage it is, what close to what year.
Sure.
Because of the shape and because of the thickness, the shoulders and all that stuff. They all kind of, then you had different people building the necks back then. And what was the guy's name? Tadeo Gomez was the famous one that everybody wants their Fender to have his initials stamped on the end of the neck.
Interesting.
TG.
Have you done that thing over the years where, because you're so known with that guitar, like, did you go out and try to find, the next one off the line or something to try to get like a similar backup, or just to get a couple more that kind of do the same thing?
It's kind of one of the reasons I bought as many as I did. I was trying to find another one that reminded me of this, and I never really did. I have a couple that are similar, but even out of all those Blackguards, some are brighter than others, some are fatter than others, and it's unique how same people built the same instrument, but they're all completely different to me. Back in the early 90s when I was starting to kind of blow up a little bit, and I'd played this guitar since 1978. And they came to me, Fender did, and they said, "We want to make a Vince Gill model." I said, "Why would you want to do that?" They said, "Well, you're doing really good, and we think it'd be cool." And I said, "No disrespect intended, but you can't make a guitar as good as my old white one." They said, "Well, we'd like to try." I said, "Well, I'm not." They said, "Oh, we'll try," and they did, and it wasn't great, but I think I lost that guitar in the flood, if I'm not mistaken. Big flood we had here about 15 years ago.
Sure, yeah.
But I told him, I said, "Look, why would you want to have a Vince Gill model? I already play your instrument every night I'm on stage. It doesn't make any sense to me." And I said, "My ego is not such that I need a model of my own name on it to satisfy me." So I appreciate it, but so it never did come about.